War does not begin with explosions. It begins silently, with fear, history, and unresolved power. In the heart of Europe, a conflict has erupted that has reshaped borders, destroyed cities, and changed millions of lives. This is the story of the Ukraine-Russia war. How it started, how it grew, and why it continues today. To understand this war, we must look to the past. For much of the 20th century, Ukraine and Russia were part of the same country, the Soviet Union. Ukraine had no independence. Its government, military, and economy were controlled from Moscow. In 1991, the Soviet Union collapsed. Ukraine became an independent nation. But independence did not erase history. After independence, Ukraine faced a difficult choice. One path led toward Europe: democracy, economic reform, and closer ties with the West. The other path led toward Russia: shared culture, language, and political influence. This was not just a political decision. It was a question of identity, and it would define Ukraine's future. In 2013, Ukraine's president rejected an agreement with the European Union. Many Ukrainians saw this as a betrayal. Millions gathered in the streets of Kyiv to protest. What began peacefully soon turned violent. This movement became known as the Revolution of Dignity. By early 2014, the president fled the country. Ukraine chose a new direction, toward Europe. Russia reacted quickly. In 2014, Russian forces moved into Crimea, a Ukrainian region with major military importance. Soldiers without identification took control. A controversial vote followed. Russia annexed Crimea. The world condemned the action, but the conflict had begun. Soon after, fighting began in eastern Ukraine. Armed groups in Donetsk and Luhansk declared independence. Ukraine accused Russia of supporting these separatists. Thousands were killed. Several ceasefires were signed, but fighting never truly stopped. For years, war continued quietly. One major concern for Russia was NATO. NATO expanded eastward, closer to Russia's borders. Many former Soviet countries joined the alliance. Russia saw this as a threat. Ukraine joining NATO was a red line. Tensions grew, diplomacy failed. On February 24, 2022, Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Missiles struck cities, tanks crossed borders, air raid sirens echoed through the night. Europe woke up to its largest war since World War II. Russia expected a fast victory. Kyiv was supposed to fall within days, but Ukraine resisted. Soldiers fought back. Civilians volunteered. The capital held. The war changed course.
Hold my
The
hand
fighting
tight. We have to
moved
keep
east
moving.
and
How much
south.
more must we wait?
Cities
Can't
like
say anymore.
Mariupol were destroyed. Homes became ruins. The war turned into a long and brutal battle, street by street, city by city. This war was not only fought by soldiers. Millions of civilians fled their homes. Families were separated. Children hid underground. Hospitals struggled to cope. A major humanitarian crisis unfolded. This war changed how wars are fought. Drones filled the skies. Missiles targeted power stations and infrastructure. Electricity, water, and heating were cut. Winter became a weapon. The world responded. Western nations imposed sanctions on Russia. Ukraine received weapons and humanitarian aid. Energy prices rose worldwide. The conflict affected the global economy. This was no longer a local war. Today, the war continues. Front lines move slowly. Losses increase. Peace talks begin and collapse. The end remains uncertain. Every war leaves scars, not only on land, but on people. Lives lost, futures destroyed. The true cost of this war cannot be measured. History will judge this conflict. Until then, the world watches. and hopes for peace.